Hi everybody. So, okay, I am doing this video without my mask on because I'm locked in the little room, so it's cool. We're talking about Kimberbell's Love Notes right now, and I just wanted to go over a little bit of the pattern. There's going to be more than one video probably on this, so after you watch this video, go to video 2, okay? And I'll send them all out in the same length. So, first of all, I want to let you know that as of today, you can come pick up your Kimberbell fabric kit, your thread kit if you ordered it, your embellishment kit if you ordered it, and your first clue. Your first clue looks like this, and it's got a little 1-cent stamp on it. Every week, starting in August, so today, August 3rd, you're going to get a new clue. And so August 3rd, August 10th, August 17th, August 24th, and August 31st. So you pick up your kit, your CD, and your first clue, and you get started. And then next week you come in for clue number 2, okay? And your clue looks like this. It's a little package, right? So you take it out of the envelope, and you'll also have a CD, which I will show you in the next video. I don't have that right here. And so you need your CD to do your machine embroidery, or you won't have a CD if you're doing handwork. But I just want to go through the pattern just a little bit. So I'm going to try to move this so you guys can see what I'm looking at as I do this. Let's see if this will work. There we go. Can you see that? Okay, sort of. I'll go back. How about that? So, there. Now you can kind of see. I don't know if it's upside down for you. How about that? There we go. It's upside down for me. So, I want to go through this pattern a little bit. These first 3 pages talk about cutting instructions, and Janice and I really recommend that you read through the whole pattern. It might not make sense when you're just reading it, but we'd still like you to read through it, and then we're going to try to clarify some of those things that don't make sense in the video. That's why we're doing the video. But read through the whole pattern, and she suggests that you make baggies that are labeled with the block name and the row name. So just like this, a little baggie that says Say Cheese Row 1. And then you're going to cut all of your pieces out, and I cut them out fabric by fabric. So I first cut out of my black and white print. I grabbed that. It's a fat 16th. In your kit, you actually got a pile of fabrics. I'm going to undo that look just like this. This big section right here with these big pieces, those are your borders. Just set that aside. And then you got these 2 little pieces. These are the fabric scraps that it talks about in there. And then there's a section of fat 16ths. Those are this size fabric, and they're all cut together the same sizes. Then you have a section of fat 8s, okay? And they're all stacked together. And then you have a section of fat quarters. So when you're going through your cutting instructions, each picture actually tells you what size it is. So I know that I'm looking out of this small pack of fabrics that are fat 16ths to look for that fabric. So I'm just going to go like this, pull this out, and cut all of those pieces. Label them and put them in a bag. Now, there's one other thing I'd like to suggest. If you flip one more page, and if you read through the whole pattern, you would know this. 2 pages, flip 2 pages. Right here, she has a cutting layout for all of these things. So this shows you exactly how to cut your pieces out so you don't run out of fabric. Because for instance, on this yellow polka dot, I cut these pieces out of a strip too big to cut this then. So I should have cut this fabric first. So cut your 10.5 inch 12 by 12 first. And if you lay them out just like she has, you won't have the problem I did. No big deal. I pieced mine together and it's going to look beautiful, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is take all your fabrics out, cut all of your pieces, label them in bags, And then put your bags, so you'll have a whole bunch of plastic bags with these different names on them. Put those bags in different bigger bags that say row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. So when you're working on row 1, you just have to have that one bag in front of you. And that is going to save a lot of problems, okay? So then you can do the same thing with your embellishment package. You can take your glitter pink and you can cut the sizes you need out of that and put that in row 2 and then row 3, okay? So you'll have everything you need when you go to do row 1 in the same bag. So that's cool. Then we start on this page here. This is page 7, and it's just got a lot of helpful notes and tips and techniques on pages 7 and 8. I would like you to read all the way through pages 7 and 8. Don't panic over the 2 hooping instructions. In every step of the pattern, she tells you which way you're going to use. So this just gives you very detailed instructions on how to do traditional hooping. And then this gives you very detailed instructions on how to do background placement hooping. But right here, like in your first directions when we go to do section 1, it says hooping instructions. See pages 7 and 8. You don't even need to see pages 7 and 8 if you've already read them. It says traditional hooping. Mark the center of your background fabric, cut your stabilizer larger than the embroidery hoop, tape fabric to center of stabilizer, hoop stabilizer and fabric with center mark and center of hoop. So you're just going to follow these instructions and then start following the instructions down the project. And I am going to show you how to hoop that later on in this video. And I want to point out a couple more things. As you're looking at your pattern, step 1 and step 2, those numbers correspond with the numbers on your embroidery machine on what step it's doing. The little dots underneath are things for you to do. So you do step 1 and then you place your camera base fabric right side up. Then you do step 2 using your embroidery machine. Then you trim your fabric close to the stitch line. Then you do step 3. Then you place your camera top fabric down, okay? So you literally do this step by step. These colors over here that my finger is touching, that tells you what color thread to use. So if it's got black and white stripes like this, it means use a neutral color. It doesn't matter, but you need to see the color on your fabric. So use something that contrasts, okay? I used white or black for that. It just made sure it stood out on my fabric. As you get down here, it shows you the color to use. The pink, that's the color that they used. So if you're using your own color, no big deal. This color may not match what your embroidery machine says unless you have the same thread line that Kimberbell used in your machine. And not every machine has all the thread lines. So don't look at the colors that come up on your machine. Look at this color right here. So we need pink here. We need white here, we need black here. This is gray, and then you do this twice, so once you use pink and once you use green, okay? And you just follow those steps. So I'm gonna go through this a little bit closer, step by step in the video, but I wanted to go through that. And I just wanna point out that you only have 2 embroidery files in section 1. One is for, actually that's not true, but for this section, say cheese, you have 2 embroidery files. One of them is this one, and one is this one. So these 2 are the same. So you're gonna do 2 blocks using different fabrics for these 2 blocks, and then you're gonna pick the second embroidery pattern for this one, okay? Okay, I'm gonna try to show you on my computer how to get your embroidery files onto your USB. So I've put my CD in my CD drive, and when I push it in, it will automatically open up my Windows Explorer window here for me. I'm just gonna wait for that to happen. Okay, so there's my Windows Explorer, and it says files currently on the CD, KD808 Love Notes. I am gonna open that so I can see what's inside it. And it says, oops, let's do that again. Okay, it says section 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're just gonna look at section 1. and it says KD808 double hoop directions. We don't need that yet. KD808 embroidery files, and KD808 files for electronic cutting. We're going to ignore the electronic cutting unless you have an artistic machine that you use, and I'm going to let you play with that because we did not do things that way. So we're going to double click the embroidery files and see where it says Jeff, or depending on what kind of embroidery machine you're using, you're going to grab your extension. So Janome uses the Jeff extension, so I am literally going to select that, and then I'm going to drag it down here to my USB drive, and I'm just going to drop it right in on my USB drive. So now it says Jeff section 1, and it has my embroidery files that I need in there. Okay, so that's all I need on my USB, and I can then take that USB over to my machine.